In 1720, London, England, an unprecedented financial frenzy was quietly brewing. The cries of newsboys shattered the city's tranquility, and the myth of South Sea Company stock spread through every street and alley. The South Sea Company's hall became a casino where the whole nation chased wealth. Everyone longed to strike it rich overnight. Deals were struck one after another, and share certificates became the keys to fortune in people's eyes. Even Thomas, Newton's butler, was swept up in the craze, daydreaming of changing his life through stocks. At that time, Newton was still immersed in the world of science, looking disdainfully at the wealth carnival outside his window. The rationality of science was put to the test by human greed, and even this genius was no exception. As dusk fell, greed hung thick over every corner of London, and the carnival was about to begin. Secretly taking out his life savings, Thomas joined the rush to buy stocks with a nervous heart. The moment he held the shares, he believed his good days had finally come. Young George, already intoxicated by the soaring stock price, flaunted his gains everywhere. The trading hall descended into complete madness, share prices kept surging, and everyone was lost in the illusion of sudden wealth. Thomas couldn't help but tell Newton about the booming stock market, trying to persuade the genius to join in. Newton flipped through the newspaper, and the headline, "South Sea Shares Double in a Month," stirred an increasingly fierce inner struggle. Reason and greed clashed violently in his heart. The genius who could calculate the orbits of stars was now lost in confusion. Eventually, Newton stepped into the trading hall. His appearance silenced the noisy hall for a moment. Reason had finally yielded to greed. Newton took out his savings and bought South Sea stock. In half a year, South Sea shares skyrocketed more than eightfold, and the carnival grew wilder. People drowned in the joy of getting rich, unaware of the crisis lurking beneath the bubble. Watching the profits in his account, Newton set aside his reason for a while, savoring the delight brought by wealth. With the king's public endorsement, South Sea stock became even more sought after, pushing the carnival to its peak. People from all walks of life speculated in stocks, desperate to seize this last chance to get rich, selling land, borrowing money, all to buy shares. Rumors spread like wildfire. News that the South Sea Company had discovered gold mines drove people into an even more frantic buying spree. When Newton calmed down, he began to examine the company's real situation. Fictitious trade data alerted him to the danger. A small number of clear-headed people quietly withdrew, causing a slight dip in prices, but the public dismissed it as a temporary correction, paying no heed. Newton knew full well that beneath the prosperity lay nothing but a bubble. Collapse was only a matter of time. He resolutely sold all his shares, recovered his principal, and cleared a profit of £7,000, temporarily escaping the frenzy. Share prices continued to surge. Those who had exited early were mocked as cowards. In July 1720, dark clouds loomed over London. A shocking revelation completely shattered people's dreams of wealth. News of the South Sea Company's financial fraud broke, plunging everyone into despair. All they wanted was to sell their stocks quickly and cut their losses. Share prices crashed in a landslide. The once glorious wealth myth vanished in an instant. The carnival turned into a catastrophe. The trading hall became a living hell, and despair swept over everyone. Young George lost everything. His dream of sudden wealth was utterly shattered. Thomas was not spared either. His life savings were wiped out, and his hopes were destroyed. Newton watched the sudden collapse, falling silent for a long time, his heart filled with complicated emotions. Greed clouded his mind once more. Newton decided to re-enter the market, hoping for a rebound to save face. The South Sea bubble burst completely. Share prices fell below £100, plunging Britain's economy into a long recession and ruining countless families. Newton lost all his savings, a total of £20,000, the fruit of his lifelong labor. The genius who could precisely calculate the paths of celestial bodies spoke slowly, his voice desolate. "I can calculate the motions of the heavenly bodies, but not the madness of men." The bubble ended, leaving a broken mess. What this carnival left behind was not only shattered families and a declining economy, but also an eternal warning to the world: greed will always exact its price.